Now then YouTube, we're just going to start with a short 1-minute clip of the 31st National Sugar Beet Spring Demonstration, which was held at Foxholes near Driffield on the 12th of June 1980, which this year moves north to the picturesque Yorkshire Wolds at Foxholes, Great Driffield, on John Rivis's land, who worked closely with J.D.Ireland at that time, and this was said to be his finest hour organising the National Sugar Beet Demonstration. John Rivis had only been growing sugar beet for 5 years, and the crop has never been grown before on the demonstration fields, which formed an ideal compact site for the event. The British sugar beet staff from Holmwood Hall Field Station drilled the crop between 7th and 11th of April using a 12-row Stan-Hay drill on the Fent tool carrier. The row width was 508mm and a seed spacing of 180mm. Despite the abnormally low rainfall following drilling, a good plant population was achieved, but with some variation in plant size. The spring event has attracted a good entry of 37 machines, which include 16 tractor hoes, 9 precision drills and 9 row crop sprayers. The static section has again been well supported and has attracted a total entry of about 100 exhibits. Apart from the demonstration crop, grown on 57 hectares, 140 acres, the event will feature herbicide, pesticide and other trial plots, showing the latest developments stemming from sugar beet research. As you can probably tell by the long tops on the beet, it's moved now to the 36th National Sugar Beet Demonstration, held again on John Rivis's farm at Foxholes. The demonstration is sponsored by sugar beet growers and the British Sugar Beet Corporation, and is held on different parts of sugar beet growing country each year. The list of harvester entries, which totals 24, included 7 6-row machines. Due to the large entry, it was decided to allocate only 1 plot per machine. 6-row machines would operate in Field A, 2 and 3-row machines in Field B, and a 1-row machine in the pre-drilled plots. The 4-row machine would operate in the area to the east of the trials. Beet tops are to be left in condition for folding as far as possible. The committee agreed that no results would be published regarding the performance assessment. Members thought it would be an advantage to appear to be assessing the machines and to stop any which were not operating correctly. The fuel requirements were 1,000 gallons on the day itself. This is the local lad David Wakely who filmed the event, with Alan driving him round for the day. The event also led to the start of another business relationship for J.D.Ireland with Leyland Tractors, becoming a dealer in them. So just some notes from the feedback from the spring demonstration. It was considered to be highly successful and received good press coverage. Many complimentary remarks concerning smooth organisation of the event, extremely fortunate with the weather, and attendance much higher than anticipated. Only criticism was that the signs were put out the day before, and they maybe could have done to have been put out a few days before that for equipment and machines getting there. As I suppose they wouldn't have had sat-navs back in them days. Here we have Wilfred Scruton's impressive display of international harvesters, and it looks like we're off for a ride round the rest of the trade stands that are there. York Sugar Beet Factory weighbridges will remain open until 6 o'clock at night for demonstration vehicles, with only an expectation of 10 to 20 loads during the hours of 4 and 6. Drivers of any loaded vehicles leaving the site after 4:30 should be advised to deliver the next day if unable to reach the factory by 5 to 6. Professional and grower hauliers will be notified and asked to give priority to vehicles from the demonstration at weighbridges. The delivery vehicles were identified by a big red 6-inch letter D. And here's a plan of the old York Sugar Beet Factory. There's also a letter here saying that there was an arrangement for 30 students from Bishop Burton College to be picked up at 8:30 and then dropped back off at 4 p.m. at an accepted quote of £45. So was that £45 for the students or the college? So if anyone's interested in site plans, get ready to pause your screen, because this is the main one of the overall beet demonstration. This one has got all the exhibits and trade stands on, and this one is to do with the refreshments in the marquee. It reckons they will shift 80 to 100 loads of sugar beet, which will be lifted by 23 sugar beet harvesters working at the above event. The deliveries will be made by 40 to 50 vehicles, which, due to the distance between the site and the factory of 34 miles and the timing of the demonstration, 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock, will only allow each vehicle to deliver 2 loads from the site in the day. In the 60s, J.D.Ireland became an agent for crossburn fertilisers and applied liquid fertilisers using Land Rovers with sprays attached to the back of them. So I'll just have a few notes from what there was that maybe didn't go quite to plan, such as there was nobody to help David Jackson sort out tractors and trailers until 9 AM. Some drivers leading from Beet machines worked through lunch hour and missed lunch, but there was plenty of spare drivers to have relieved if stewards had done their jobs properly, spare drivers due to machines not arriving. The fuel tanker left just as tractors wanted refuelling. Stewards not taking any notice of loaders digging up a lot of soil. Demo lorries not given priority at the factory in the morning. Everything came to a halt at 4 o'clock and we were left with part-loaded vehicles, no stewards to be found. They'd all gone to the pub. Lights went out at 4:15 hours in the marquee and other tents and left everyone in the dark. Hutchinson's of Malton is where Robinson's Equestrian is now. The majority of the work done to the sugar beet crop from harvest to haulage was carried out by local contractor J.D.Ireland from West Heslington. Here's Maurice Payson, who along with other jobs has worked for J.D.Ireland. Next up, there's 4 different bits of paper with various folks who's donated tractors and trailers for the day, so you might even see distant relations on there. Well now then viewers, let's see what you and the 3,500 visitors came to look at the tackle in the field. First machine we'll take a closer look at is the Peter Standham Turbo Beet. This 3-row harvester is probably the most popular harvester in the York area. After the Beet had been lifted, it was taken down to the loader bays where 16 loaders and 9 cleaner loaders were operated, including 2 new machines, Butterworth and Walton, on the CTM prototype. 9 heaps of Beet, approximately 30 tonnes each, would be spaced out 35 yards apart for cleaner loaders to operate. Some loader operators were inexperienced, which resulted in a high dirt content in the trailers and fewer full loads taken to the York Sugar Beet factory. And here's a list of people who supplied road transport vehicles on the day. Hey up, looks like they've bunged her up. So here we can just see Robson's Transport there, and also at the back of this JCB, one of J.D.Ireland's wagons. I don't know if you can still get a copy of his book from the local petrol station, Stonesy's, but if not, I'll leave a link to one from Amazon, as I can't seem to find it from anywhere else. And it says a donation to the local Parkinson's disease charity will be made from the proceeds of this book. Here we see Synchro Sid on J.D.Ireland's Leyland tractor and trailer, which was one of 70 taking the Beet from the harvesters to the cleaning / loading areas, and his real name was Sid Darley, which is Ray Darley's uncle from Rillington. Steve Dring, along with Ray Darley, also thought that the last Sugar Beet video put on was at C. Rivis's at Hunmanby, and if that's the same farm I'm thinking of, then that would be where Rillington Young Farmers Plough Match was in 2022. This is Bill Bennett's harvesting system, and it is mounted around a Fendt tractor. This is a 2-row Ransom's Tim 3-ton side tipping tank. A trending harvesting design back then was topping gear on the front and lifting gear on the rear, and this is a French Hirio 6-row harvester. Working on another similar principle is another French machine, a 6-row Macro, powered by a fairly big John Deere back in its day. This Rational Belly Lifter 3-row machine was imported by Targo. Looks like these two farmers are very interested in this 6-row single stage row harvester. The largest machine entered on the day was this 6-row Macro, a self-propelled unit with a capacity of well over 20 acres a day. Very popular with many sugar beet growers, the Ransom's 33B tanker put up a very creditable performance. Here we have the 3-row standard self-propelled Stalwart. Meanwhile, working 3 fields above the static display area, 19 reversible ploughs totaling 90 furrows are showing off their paces. Approximately 3,500 visitors attended from all the major beet growing areas in England. Some also came from over the continent. 70 acres of sugar beet were harvested. 1,500 tonnes of beet were cleaned and loaded for delivery to York Sugar Beet Factory. In all, Foxholes was a very successful demonstration, which received good coverage of press and TV, and also gave sugar beet growers an ideal opportunity to see the sugar beet harvesters working in more realistic conditions than has been seen in previous years. Another interesting sight to see is International pulling 5 furrows, whereas at the ploughing matches I've been at, you'd just see them in the conventional class. maybe pulling 3 or a 2 in another class. In closing, we would like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Rivis Sr. and his 2 sons, Chris and John, for providing the site, and also their cooperation, without which none of this would have been possible. I'd also like to thank David Wakely for filming this for J.D.Ireland and letting me reuse it. So I managed to save his audio because it wasn't particularly great, it was crackly and cut out in places, so I've tried to save as much as what he said as possible. So as the night draws in, so does the end of the sugar beet demonstration along with this video. But if you've enjoyed watching, I'll leave some links to a playlist featuring other J.D.Ireland videos, and also the Welbans using their Marshall Model M to winch their Massey Ferguson 399 and Rational Beet Harvester out of the wet patches. If you'd like to leave us some comments, if you think I've missed anything or got out wrong, maybe you recognise someone else in the video that I haven't quite picked up on.